Thank you. Was that difficult to say? For many accomplished women, those two simple words are surprisingly hard. Someone compliments your work, and instead of simply saying, thank you respond with, oh, it was really the team, or I just got lucky, or anyone could have done it. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you advocated for yourself with the same passion you advocate for everyone else? If that question made you a little bit uncomfortable, you're not alone. Because you're probably the woman who encourages other people to apply for promotions, support their ideas, celebrates their accomplishments, and opens doors whenever you can. But when it's your turn, something changes. Why? Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Suarez. After spending more than 2 decades leading in Fortune 100 companies and often being the only Latina at the leadership table, I've made it my mission to help accomplished women stop waiting for permission, own their voice, and confidently pursue the leadership opportunities they have already earned. Over the years, I have discovered something fascinating. The women who struggle the most with self-advocacy usually don't think they have a self-advocacy problem because what they're doing doesn't feel like insecurity. It feels like humility or being professional or acting as a team player. And that's exactly why it's so hard to recognize. Self-advocacy begins long before the conversation. Most people think self-advocacy begins when you negotiate a raise, ask for a promotion, or speak up in a meeting. I don't. I think it begins much earlier. It begins with the conversation you have with yourself before anyone else is part of the conversation. It begins with how you describe your accomplishments, how you receive recognition, whether you raise your hand or wait to be invited. Those small moments shape much bigger outcomes than we realize. So let me give you a few examples. Your manager asks, tell me about your biggest accomplishment this quarter. Do you confidently talk about your impact, or do you spend most of your answer talking about everybody else's contribution? Someone encourages you to apply for a leadership position. Before you have even read the job description, have you already decided you're probably not qualified? Or maybe someone says you'll be great at leading this project. Do you think, I'd love to, or why me? Those moments seem small. They're not. Here's something I believe with all my heart. Every negotiation you have with someone else begins with the negotiation you have already had with yourself. Think about that. Long before you negotiate your salary, your promotion, your resources, or your influence, you have already decided whether you deserve to be in that conversation. Too many brilliant women negotiate against themselves before anyone else ever has the chance to ask. So why does this happen? I don't think this is about confidence. Most of the women I coach are incredibly capable. What they have been rewarded for is being dependable, collaborative, humble, easy to work with. Those qualities matter please don't lose them. But don't let them become the reason people overlook you. Working hard earns credibility. Leadership requires visibility. There's a big difference. I remember coaching an executive who was frustrated because she kept getting passed over for larger leadership opportunities. She finally said, "Elizabeth, my work speaks for itself." I smiled. Then I asked her one question: "Does it? Or are you expecting other people to interpret it?" She got very quiet. Over the next several months after our conversation, she didn't become louder. She simply became more intentional about talking about the value she created. Not because she wanted attention, because she realized leadership requires visibility. That one shift changed everything. Remember, every negotiation you have with someone else begins with the negotiation you have already had with yourself. Can I challenge you with something? What if self-advocacy isn't self-promotion? What if it's actually leadership? Because if people don't understand the value you bring, they can't invite you into the conversations where your experience is needed. Self-advocacy isn't about making yourself look bigger. It's about making your contribution visible. There's a big difference. So here's what I'd like you to do. Pay attention to how you respond the next time someone compliments your work. Do you simply say, "Thank you"? Or do you immediately begin minimizing what you have accomplished? Those small moments reveal something much bigger. Remember, every negotiation you have with someone else begins with the negotiation you have already had with yourself. So make sure you're not negotiating against your own potential. If this conversation challenged the way you think, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, where I share practical ideas to help accomplished women strengthen their leadership, increase their influence, and assertively build what's next. See you next time.